Las Vegas Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels has preached consistency since he came to Sin City. He obviously didn't get that out of the team last year, so he reshaped the roster this offseason and he's at it again. After a good week of beating up the San Francisco 49ers starters and backups last week at home, the Raiders are getting their first consistency test of this year. They're on the road in Southern California to see what they can do with the Los Angeles Rams. Like I said in my last video, they're a different team that brings a different set of problems. On day one yesterday, the Raiders got the better of it, but it wasn't quite like last week. So what were we able to learn about the Raiders from their performance against the Rams and their different set of problems today? To be consistent, you got to be able to deal with different types of teams so you can't have major weaknesses. Example, last year the Raiders had trouble with teams with a strong interior rush because they didn't have good pass blocking guards. The Raiders guards held up in pass blocking last week, but were not tested yesterday because Aaron Donald was off. Today, Donald did participate, so they had the opportunity to see if they can handle a team that rushes the passer well from the interior. From the sound of it, it went pretty well for the Raiders. There were no reports of him being disruptive. Donald went against Gardner and Tang Mutai today and got into a fight with them after the first play. If you can block Donald, he'll start a fight, especially in camp. He can't stand being blocked because he's not used to it. I remember the practice a few years ago that Donald started a fight because Gabe Jackson was all over him. Don't worry, I'm not getting it twisted. I know it's just practice, but it's a step in the right direction. Besides, Donald in practice is better than most interior defensive linemen in the game. If Mutai doesn't take one of the starting spots, he can be a good depth piece. It's hard for a quarterback to be consistent after going out with an injury and not participating in the offseason program. Add playing on a new team and working with new receivers to that, and it's that much harder. That's what Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is going through right now, and he's not doing too bad. He's already gotten to the point where he's on point when throwing short to intermediate passes, but it's much harder to get your timing down the deep ball than with any other throw, so it's taking him a while to be consistent on it. Yesterday he was able to complete a couple of deep balls, but today Garoppolo had no such luck. According to reports, he overthrew one and just plain missed another. Before you start all that, he doesn't have an arm crap. Again, the man just had surgery this offseason and couldn't participate in the offseason program, so he had to go through the whole process to get all the way back into the swing of things. I mean, he is on point everywhere else, and he's doing a good job in the 2-minute drill according to reports, and he still has time to straighten that deep ball out, so worry not. Garoppolo is coming along just fine and should have everything together by week 1. As far as the defense goes, it's hard to tell how the secondary is doing, but the defensive line has been consistently putting pressure on the quarterback. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford often steps up and throws after he would have already been sacked and gets big plays. I don't care who it is, defensive backs can only cover for so long. Then there's the fact that the pass rush lets up and allows the quarterback to step up and throw. He can step up with conviction too because he's not getting hit or doesn't have to worry about getting hit. So you have to wonder how many of those passes down the field would Stafford had really completed. Edge rusher Max Crosby has been getting home all camp and today is no exception. And yes, according to reports, Crosby has been getting plenty of help from the interior. Raider insider Levi Edwards said interior defensive linemen Esther Jade Cervera and John Jenkins were quote-unquote ragdolling some people in one-on-ones. They carried over to the team period too. They balled last week along with Jerry Tillery and Adam Butler, so that's step 1 toward being consistent. If they keep this up, it's going to be hard on opposing quarterbacks. If we know anything about the Raiders from their day 2 and joint practices with the Rams, we know the defensive line is for real. They put heat on the quarterback. They put mad heat on the quarterback all week last week against the 49ers, and so far, they're doing it again against the Rams. Saturday with the backups, I think we're going to see the same thing. So while we don't quite know what's going on with the Raiders secondary yet, we know they're going to get a lot of help. And from the guard competition, I can see the position has improved, plus they have more depth. And as far as Garoppolo goes, relax. He's getting better every week. Thank you for watching. See you next time.